Krishna Hare Krishna movement, going back 50 years ago. At this time, 50 years ago, most of us were probably not aware where we were. If you remember where they were 50 years ago. Can you remember? How many of you can remember where you were 50 years ago? Probably not. Even 5 years ago we may not remember. Some of you may remember. Maitreya probably remembers something. Maybe. Pardon? In the kindergarten, were you? Somewhere in the kindergarten. Anthony, where were you 50 years ago? Not sure.
I was with my parents some way.
You were in the body?
Yes.
You were in your body. Somewhere where you were. Huh?
I was 1.
1 year old. You're giving the game away now. He gave the game away, yeah. 50 years ago, let's see where was I? Oh, I remember where I was. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, let's see where it was. The Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, where was he 50 years ago? Where was he? New York. Which part of America are you from? North Carolina. Oh, not too far away. And Prabhupada was in New York. And whereabouts in New York? Huh? No? Where? He wouldn't even know the Bowery at this time. He hadn't moved to the Bowery yet. He's in uptown New York, I don't know, 52nd Street or something, somewhere uptown. Staying in an apartment there, which was previously Dr. Mishra's apartment. He was just staying there. Pretty much alone. Pretty much alone. From the perspective of the world around him anyway. He had no serious fault. There were a few young Americans who were coming to Dr. Mishra's yoga programs, not many. And they didn't really have any serious kind of connection with Prabhupada. They were just, interested in whatever. Indian culture, yoga, different things. But practically alone, staying in that. One little room, it was an office. It wasn't even a room. It was an office. Not that a shared toilet and bathroom and everything outside. Staying in an office, glass window, door to glass window. And there you'd sit, he had no furniture, he just had his trunk, which he brought it in from India. So an old typewriter someone had given to him, which was actually stolen from him at a certain point. And that's one of the reasons he moved out of there. And but he was sitting there simply trying to type away, and he didn't have, literally every day, day to day, no, pretty much nothing. His income was next to nil, and he was selling a few volumes of his, let's say, from the Western point of view, rather kind of rough-looking books. And the language also was very hard for English people to follow. American people, English-speaking people to follow. The problem would sometimes go door to door trying to sell the books in bookshops. Very little. Day to day, he's spending a few maybe $1 here, a few cents there on just enough to survive. He stayed there for quite some time in that little place. There is where he recorded. You probably have a Bhagavad Gita here somewhere. He was, and again he had to renew his visa, like literally every few months he had to renew it. It was like, and it was not easy. This is a really good one. Atendere l'absolute. This is the Karma Yoga. Silvati, Ompli, Sonde, Wa, Salome, Sonde, Kisri, Che, Onsan, Onsan, Avekwa, Sonde, Silvalat, Silver, Deshon, the Karma. Any questions? Oui? Oui? funny? Funny for Fontaine? Merci, well, we can help that. We can go and sit next door, they can carry on. But all you've got in English.
Easy enough.
Yeah, so the same thing, introduction probably is there. Is, like most books, there's an introduction to this book. Amazing enough. Prabhupada says sometimes we're not here to attract a crowd. We're here to attract Krishna. Our business is not to try to impress others. In one sense, it's not to impress Krishna, but it is in one sense. Our business is to please Krishna. In any relationship, you naturally want to please the other party. Well, depends on the relationship. I'm talking of positive relationships here. loving relationships. And so, the idea is to learn how to please Krishna. Become pleasing to Krishna. He's our beloved. He's the object of our love. And so Prabhupada, he came to the West with that in mind, simply to please Krishna, not to. Sometimes people come to other countries with some material motivation. Maybe to get some money, get some followers, and that, maybe education. Even names sometimes I've been there. Here I am in front of the Statue of Liberty, for the Empire State Building or something. No, I probably didn't go to America for holiday making. I had to go to the Gold Coast. Holidays. Enjoy. We didn't go to America to enjoy. When he left India in August '65, just before he left, the lady who arranged his trip was on the boat. She was owner of a cargo shipping company, India, Samati Maraji, and her secretary, Mr. Choksi. He was very helpful man. But he was almost joking. When Prabhupada was trying to convince them to give him a ticket, and Samati Maharaj was saying, Swamiji, you're too old. You will go there, I'm afraid you may die. She was trying to convince him not to go, saying they are of a different culture, they will not be able to understand this message of Krishna consciousness. In some ways you can understand her points. Prabhupada was insistent, it was the instruction of his spiritual master to do this, and nothing was going to stop him. He would die if he were trying to fulfill that instruction. And Mr. Choshi said, Swamiji, I know why you're going there. You want to go there to enjoy your senses. Don't talk such nonsense, he said. He was kind of joking. But that's why most people go. So when they go for a job or education or something. We've got some removal company in the round the back there. Sounds like they're moving the furniture. I bet I know who that is. It's amazing how much noise little ones can make, isn't it? They can make more noise than big ones. They've increased the volume since the voice is excellent at making noise. Anyway, Prabhupada came along, and the whole world didn't know he came. Actually, no, who in the world knew Prabhupada was in New York in January 1965 in the middle of the winter? About this time when he saw the first snow in his life, he thought somebody had whitewashed the buildings. He'd never seen snow before. Thought somebody had whitewashed the buildings next door when he woke up in the morning. Didn't know what it was. Snow. Literally, the whole city was cut off, electricity, everything for something. He'd never experienced it. None of these survived that winter alone. By Krishna's grace. And, then you see he stayed there for some time, and there were a couple of young men, Bill Epstein and Harvey Cohen and Robert Nelson, those three. They were quite, let's say, a little bit more interested than most of the people who were coming in. Especially, these two, Harvey Cohen and Bill Epstein, they were kind of quite well known amongst the hip. At that time, hippies were coming into New York. Were you a hippie, man, Butler?
Yes.
You're still a hippie, huh? Maitreya, I bet you were a hippie, weren't you? Hey? Still a bit of a hip. Hip hop. It's kind of a term, it's almost historically used now. I don't know what it necessarily means. It's just a description of a lot of young people, most Western countries, and even some in Asia, who were really on a kind of a different wavelength, I suppose, to the norm in some ways. Trying to create change in society, searching elsewhere for the answers and so on, and experimenting in different ways, especially with intoxications and so on. So they were quite, involved in that world. Robert Nelson was not. He was known as a straight behavior and so on. The other two weren't. They were very much involved in this place called the Paradox, which is in New York and 14th Street. It was a famous place amongst the hippies where they would all come and just tell each other what the latest thing happening in town is and just share different experiences and so on. Different kinds. And from there, a lot of people heard about the Swami, especially when he moved down to the Bowery. It was, hi Bonnie, nice to see you. Are you staying here now? Go with that.
No.
Where are you staying? Pardon? In Molenbeek? Oh, you're around, okay. I'm sure we'll see you over the weekend. It'd be nice to catch up. Thank you. So, I think it was Harvey Cole. One of them arranged for Prabhupada's moving after this death with this couple of possessions, tape recorder and typewriter. But it was on that, in that place that Prabhupada recorded the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. He said, we're not here, as he said a minute, not here to attract a crowd, we're here to please Krishna. He said, we can preach to the four walls. Krishna will hear. When he was asked, when he came to the Western world, for Juna, I think they were all asked in Prabhupada, many different questions. They said that people may not be very interested in this message. Prabhupada said, we're not interested we're not worried about it. We're here to serve Krishna. We're not interested if we get recognized by a band of fools, rascals, etc. We're interested to see Krishna's peace. It's the main thing. So we can preach in the words. We'll preach to the stars, the moon, the sun. Even if nobody hears, it doesn't matter. We're just going to continue to serve the message or to serve the will of Krishna. So he did. He recorded that. There was no one else there when he recorded the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. Nobody was there. He was just speaking to an empty room. But now we can see that those recordings have been put into writing. The tapes must have been preserved. They were put into writing, and you can listen to those tapes. They are available. And now millions and millions of people all over the world are hearing that message. Amazing. Nothing goes in vain on the spiritual platform. Everything is immortal. So there's words, it's like Srila Prabhupada left the world in 1977, but has he left? Has he actually left? Isn't he still here with us? He's with us all, in so many ways, isn't it? Can you think of some ways that he's with us?
Books.
Pardon?
Books.
Books, very important. His books, he said, you want to know me, you read my books. I put all my ecstasies into his books. I put everything into his books. How else is he present?
You, Prasadam?
Prasadam, when he introduced Prasadam to most of the world, I mean, even in Asia, practically, the real understanding of real Prasadam was almost not there. How else is he present? Pardon?
On book distribution?
Can't hear.
On book distribution.
Well, yeah, he's certainly present on book. You go on book distribution, do you? Sounds like it. You really feel his presence on book distribution, don't you? He's amazing. It's amazing. When we do service, right? any service, especially when you're preaching Krishna consciousness, you can feel Prabhupada's presence. Should do, if we let go. How else is he present? Speaking? Pardon? In the Murti, in the temple, we have his deity pictures also. We can feel his presence there. Many ways he's present. Gurudan, any other ways you can think of?
Sing the devotees.
Pardon?
The Hare Krishna devotees.
Yeah, the devotees. Would we be here if Prabhupada hadn't come to the West? Would any of us be here? You probably wish I wasn't here. None of us would be here if Prabhupada hadn't come to the West. Would we? There'd be no NewGoverdhan, no restaurants, no nothing of Krishna consciousness. No one would know nothing outside of India about Krishna consciousness in its pure form. Even in India, what to speak of outside of India, it was practically hidden amongst a small group of practitioners. Most people have very unclear understanding of what is Krishna consciousness. You know that, Shamananda. Mixed bag, isn't it? You don't know, right? Madhavananda? In India? Most people don't know. They've got a jumble sale of ideas, right? It's this thing, that. Who knows what is pure devotional service? Hardly anyone. Prabhupada revealed something which was almost lost. When he came to the West, he said, I haven't come here to teach you. He's teaching what you've forgotten, that's all. It's just forgotten. Remind you of what you've forgotten. So he never leaves. He reasons hills. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our great spiritual masters, a few generations back. He reasons ill who tell that Vaishnavas die while thou art living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living tries to spread a holy life around. It's their business. They never die. They remain ever in sound. We also have Prabhupada tapes. So many lectures are there, isn't it? So many. How many? Thousands of lectures. Thousands of conversations. Letters. Thousands of letters. So much chance to associate with Prabhupada. Isn't that? Shouldn't we take advantage of that? Wherever we are, we may be trying to follow in Prabhupada's footsteps. But when you have a chance to listen to Prabhupada, we shouldn't miss the opportunity. Well, we can. Take advantage of it. Associate with Prabhupada as much as you can. By reading. Of course, we're not all scholars, but whatever you can. Let's try to hear from Prabhupada. It may sometimes be a little hard because we're conditioned in different ways, and it's not always easy to, like a child sometimes doesn't like to hear the parents give it some guidance for its benefit. Be quiet, will you? The child doesn't like that. They like to make a noise. Sit down, they don't want to sit down. Stop playing, they don't want to stop playing. Do your homework, they don't want to do their homework. Come to the dentist, they definitely don't want to go to the dentist. You name it. The whole list is very long, things like this. But, certain things have to be done. It may not be so possible, but don't just take the tough part. Understand it's for our benefit. Everything always things for our benefit. Maybe it's not absolutely relevant for us at that particular moment. Trying to understand. Our business is to try to help each other understand what is relevant for our present condition, so that we can progress. Our consciousness becomes clearer. Then the instruction and the reason behind it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. But as long as we're still seeing it through the, let's say, the veneer of material sense gratification or material attachment, then obviously there's going to be a mixed acceptance and rejection of the let's say, the instruction. Something is there we can apply, and especially for chanting, more or less we see two things which are pretty much acceptable to most people. Can anyone guess what they are? Two things that we're offering, which are more or less, most people to some degree at least, acceptable.
We have a soul.
Pardon?
We have a soul.
Oh, I don't know if most people accept that. I mean, as you do, they can't really, how do they... I've been talking in terms of actually connecting, let's say, with the activities of the Krishna consciousness movement. Pardon? Prasadam, especially in Australia. You don't meet many people who don't like prasadam in one form or another, do you? You mean, obviously there's some But most people like prashadam. And Guru, you'll know very well, isn't it? Most people like prashadam, don't they? I mean, I have to take on Australian flavour, whatever that may be, something very tasty, right? Australia means it has to be very tasty, isn't it? Very rich and tasty for many people, because they're vegans and so on. Most people, they like a rich, tasty, curd steak, isn't it? And rich tomato sauce. What else do they like, Garuda? Huh?
Trifles, sweet rice,
Sweet rice trifles.
halva,
Halva, especially in the winter in Melbourne, the halva is very popular. Halva and custard.
pakoras, samosas, pakoras.
Pakoras, yes. Cauliflower pakora. Very popular, isn't it? And different things that make it nice. People are attracted by the taste. They're not necessarily attracted knowingly to Krishna. That's the trick. They like Krishna. Oh, so many people go to the restaurant, don't they? And they like, even meat eaters. I remember in New Zealand, in Auckland, I was in Pangura, I think, so you've probably been around Sankirtan. I was distributing books there maybe 20 years ago at least. And I went into one butcher's shop. So, they're all the same. They don't know what they're doing. The soul's the same, even if they're in a body engaged in that activity. Or they're in a florist shop. There's a soul that's covered differently, that's all. So I thought I wasn't having a particularly, let's say, fruitful day in terms of distributing books anyway. But I went in there, I saw there was one of the butcher's shops. I thought, God, big chubby looking butcher, big round red face, you can picture it now. He got his apron on and all mention what that looked like. And he's there with his chopper. And a few people in there buying. So I thought, well, Nityananda, he's the Chaitanya Petit Pavan, the most merciful. I can't do anything, but if you want, you never know. So in we went. And the butcher looked at me, chop! He knew I was a Hare Krishna. He couldn't know. Kind of joking to him. What do you want then? And he said, what are you doing here then? I said, I thought you might be interested in a book. What book? I said, vegetarian cookbook. I came in the shallow end, And he laughed and laughed. Vegetarian cookbook. Me? Vegetarian cookbook? I said, are you married? I said, yeah. Doesn't your wife cook vegetables sometimes? Yeah, sometimes. Well, it might be something there she can cook if you like. And then he said, well, tell me one thing. Has it got that recipe in there? I said, which one? The pie. The pie. Yeah, which pie is that? The one you're selling in a restaurant downtown. Gopal's, whatever it's called those days. The one you're selling in a restaurant, that triangular pie, has it got the recipe? I quickly looked at samosa. Yes, it's got it. Let me have a look. Okay, how much is it? About $10. He gave me $50. I gave him back a piece and a bunch of other books as well. So he said, if it's got that recipe, I'll take it. He said, I love those pies. Whenever I go downtown, I buy all them pies. He was addicted to samosas. So I know, Krishna's for everyone. We're for everyone. Not against anyone. They may not be very much interested in what we're trying to offer, but we're not against. And the other is the holy name. The holy name is so merciful. Prabhupada has brought this to the world, offering to everyone. Even back in 1970, when the Hare Krishna record became, 1969 actually, became world famous. I don't know if any of you remember the record, maybe we're not around to listen to that. Mikadashi, did you remember that Hare Krishna record in the late 60s? On the television, you may have seen it. Yeah, Govardhan will remember, perhaps. It was very famous. I was just a mid-aged teenager, I was a late teenager then. But we were into all the music, the latest music, anything to do with the Beatles. And that came out, I didn't really know what it was, but it was like a really popular record, the Hare Krishna the Radha Krishna Temple album and the Hare Krishna mantra. They played all over the place. It was on the top of the pops. It became #1 in many countries, top-selling record. And they printed it in New Zealand, by the way. The mass production in New Zealand. I don't know if that was worldwide circulation, but many of them were printed in New Zealand. And, it was really popular even amongst people, even at rugby matches, football matches. I don't know about cricket matches, but all over the place they were playing this Hare Krishna mantra during the interval. And so many people know what it was. It was just something to occupy the time, catchy tune. People were trying to sing it. Hey, new Hare Krishna, we're all over the place. Prabhupada was really nothing. The Prabhupada hadn't come 50 years ago. And who would have known? When he did, then he moved to Bari, and that's where, a little bit started. Mukunda Maharaj, he's living here at NewGoverdhan. You know him. You don't see much. He's been, because he had his accident and his heart operation recently, so he's a bit quiet nowadays. But he was there. He was one of the very, very first serious followers of Srila Prabhupada, Michael Grant. He lived around the road in Grand Road, and just around a few blocks away from the Bowery where Prabhupada was staying. And through that connection, the paradox, they were mostly musicians. He heard about the Swami, he came along, and he introduced many other people in the music world to Prabhupada. And he was the one who found 26 2nd Avenue. He found it. Prabhupada came to his room one day with another boy named Carl Jurgens. They were asking if you could please help Swami to find somewhere else because the place in the Bowery had become a little unsafe. The other boy sharing there was a little over-intoxicated. It was going a bit wild. So he found this little storefront in 2nd Avenue, and a very small little place, not even a quarter of the size of this room, maybe a fifth, that was very small. And that was where Prabhupada had his little preaching center in 2nd. Now when they went there, Mukunda came there with Carol and Prabhupada to meet the agent, the state agent. At that time they were just kind of friends. They weren't really serious at that. They were just trying to help him a little bit. Or help an Indian Swami get something going in America. And so they came there and they were negotiating the rent on the property. It was $100 or something like that a month. For the shop front, to have a little preaching shop front there. And Prabhupada, he said to the, I think Mr. Governor, his name was the agent, and Prabhupada said, you see this boy here, his name Michael Grant, here's Carl Jurgens, and they are members of my society, he said. He didn't really have a society as such, technically speaking, maybe what he was talking about. He said, they're members of my society, and they are giving every month $25 a month, which they were not. They say a white lie, but Prabhupada was, had his plan. So he said, they're giving every month, and you can do that too. To make it easy for you, I will give you a set of my books, 3 books he gave me, and instead of giving $25 a month, we will give you $75 a month instead of $100. The man was, he agreed. He had to agree, Prabhupada was so powerful. He agreed on it. So he actually became the first member of the society. The state agent. Amazing, I don't know what happened to him, I don't know. Anyway, they got those places in a little room behind also where Prabhupada lived. And that was it, that was the beginning. And then July the 13th, Prabhupada, one day when every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Prabhupada was giving. Prabhupada started the Sunday Love Feast. Every Sunday we have what we usually call a Love Feast or something like that. He started that in the Bowery, not in 2nd Avenue. First Love Feast was in the Bowery. All that Prabhupada would do apparently in the Bowery was kirtan and then prashad. No philosophy. No philosophy. He said that people were not ready for philosophy. He started philosophy amongst, the general kind of young type people in 2nd Avenue, but only on Saturday nights, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Later on it introduced the love feast there also. In the second half. And then was going out and chanting in public and so on. Kicked off. On July the 13th, he was sitting there, and there's a group of people there in the room, and mostly young people sitting there, kirtan. And then after a little talk, brother says, so now, what was his name, the lawyer? Goldsmith. Yes, now Mr. Goldsmith. Mr. Goldsmith is coming quite often. He was a lawyer, Jewish, and he was dressed like, quite like a gentleman. Most of them there with long hair and, hippie dress and so on. And I said, now Mr. Goldsmith, now you can take the names. It was kind of, yes, Swami, he gave a little introduction. Swami has decided to form a society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. Somebody said, well, that's a bit funny, it's a bit kind of, people can't relate. Krishna, we should call it God consciousness. And Prabhupada said, no, God is a vague term. Vague, it's not clear. Krishna is specific. And if they don't know who Krishna is, then we will teach them who Krishna is. That's our business. The Krishna consciousness. I mean, if it were an international society for God consciousness, it wouldn't be very difficult to say anyway. Is Khan, is Khan, is Khan. ISKCON is easy to say. Another reason that I don't think that was the reason. So Prabhupada did then they said, you can give your names. So they had to get some trustees. He had a whole, what do you call it? Different points. That's a movement, what do you call it? Mission statement, not mission statement, but like that, what it stood for. And then he went around and names you. Okay, Raphael. I think one of them was called Raphael in the room then. Raphael, you can give your name. And then, Steve, and this one, that one, they signed up. They know what they were signing. They never read it. Just some documents. Put your name here for the first 3 months, so-and-so was the trustee, and then others became the trustees. Like, I didn't know what they were doing. Prabhupada said, this is for tax exemption. We go, what's that for? No one's giving any money anyway. Tax exemption. Prabhupada was seeing the future, you see. Seeing the future. He was sitting on a park bench one time in New York, and there's this one subway worker, American gentleman, came up and started talking to Prabhupada and asked him, are you from India? And Prabhupada said, yes, I'm from India. And Prabhupada said to this American man, are you from India? He said, no, I'm from here. And the man said, you got some mission here or something? Prabhupada said, yes, we have. This is like maybe this time of the year, 66 or something, very early. And he had nothing at that time except for, whatever he did. He had a few books, no followers. And he said, yes, we have a movement. We have many temples, restaurants, farms, schools, many followers. But there was just a little time separation. Time separation. So, I could see that. Just a matter of time. And this movement is going on whether we're part of it or not. It's for Chaitanya, Krishna's mission. But this mission is chanting of the holy names will spread. Yati Nagaradi Gram, will spread everywhere. Whether we get the credit or don't, that's besides the point. Someone else will do it. If we don't do it, it's going to happen. How it happens and to what degree it happens, we don't speculate, but it's going to happen. This message was spread. We have the great opportunity and privilege to be a part of this. Prabhupada has given us this great privilege. So please take advantage of this opportunity to be a part of Srila Prabhupada's mercy mission, to share this knowledge which has been covered over, hidden, forgotten, or whatever, especially in this day and age that we're living in. There's some kind of reflection of it, some pseudo kind of aspect. Prabhupada is giving the essence of truth, the essence of life, the essence of religion, the essence of yoga, the essence of everything, the spirit, the essence of everything. Simple, by giving this opportunity to practically, very practically apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Krishna, which are for the welfare and benefit of all living entities. since all living entities are Krishnas. Expansions, Krishna's paths and parcels, man-made and Sajiva located Bhuta Sanat. So just to reconnect, that's what it is. Reconnect ourselves and everything else with Krishna. So thank you all very much for coming. Maybe we can have some questions from our esteemed audience. Yes, Mother Akadashi.
Wait, I got it.
In 1966, when they were talking about the risk that travel this concept of purposes, and that was sound like
Well, we can read them. We can pass it forward. 7 purposes of ISKCON. Oh no. Not more stickers. He's a sticker acharya. There I go. Where did you get them from? You seem to have millions and millions of stickers and simply wonderful. I can't understand. Well, this is a nice little book. It's the Visitor's Handbook to New Govardhan, which gives you a brief overview of the project here, a little bit about Krishna consciousness. It's a nice little booklet, which Kadashi Govardhan, of course, culturally developed and have been instrumental in this production, very much so. So here we have these 7 purposes, and this was given by Prabhupada in 1966. It's based on, he did this in 1950, I think it was 53 or something, maybe later, in Jhansi. And he started what's called the Liga Developers. He didn't develop very much, but he put these principles, more or less the same principles down. But here they're actually being properly, let's say, instituted, part of the memorandum or whatever you call it. These are the 7 points. Listen carefully. To systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. What a nice statement. Kind of covers all the intentions of moral and pious people as well. Check the imbalance of values in life, achieve unity and peace. And I guess the majority of people could relate to that quite well. They may have a different approach, but Prabhupada is seeing that the missing link is spirituality. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said there's nothing lacking in this world except for Krishna consciousness. That spiritual aspect which is lacking. Everything else is here. Maybe misusing it, but it's all here. Krishna provides. Secondly, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as revealed in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Thirdly, to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna. The purpose of coming together, now that could be those of this society or the society all, both, but to bring everyone closer together with consciousness of Krishna, nearer to Krishna. The closer, it's like the closer you get to the sun, you probably get warmer. I don't know, but I have not tried recently. If you try to go 50 million miles up in the air, you might be warmer. I don't know, maybe not. Okay. By normal logic, the closer you get to something which is hot, the warmer you get. The same could be applied to many examples, probably. The closer you get to the Arctic, the colder it gets, usually. Antarctic. Cold. So, the closer you get to Krishna, then more unity will be there. More harmony and peace and so on. Who is Krishna, the prime entity? Thus, to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead. We're part of the unlimited opulence. When you see it like that, you can't forget Krishna, can you? When you see everything around us and every body around us, there's nothing but an expansion of Krishna's opulences, then you can remember. It may be perverted, it may be temporarily sort of like reflected in a seemingly perverted way, but nonetheless it is Krishna's energy. It is Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. People, objects, everything. So, see like that, then the whole world takes on a different perspective. To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of God as revealed in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As we mentioned already, to try to distribute this chanting of the holy name everywhere, to everybody. This helps to purify their consciousness, creates auspicious environment, facilitating the awakening of spiritual understanding. To erect for the members and society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna, just like here in NewGoverdhan. We were watching last night, wasn't it, Lord Chinalanta, those DVDs from the Govardhan Eco Village. One of our brothers, Radhanath Swami, has inspired devotees. If anyone has been to the Govardhan, you've been there, Anthony, my goodness me. Where have you not been? Where have you not been? Not been here before?
Give me some examples.
Something inside. You haven't been inside far enough yet. You've got a little work to go inside. We're going. That helps us when we go to the right places outside. It helps us to go inside, deeper inside our minds. So amazing place. So when were you there?
When?
Yes, when?
About 4 weeks ago.
Okay, you've got update. You're really quite recent visitor to the Govardhan. I've only seen the DVDs. I've not been there.
They're still working, so it's not finished yet. But they're making a replica of Vrindavan.
Yeah.
So they've built a Govardhan hill. They've built all the main temples in Vrindavan there. They've built Acacia Ghat. So so you can go there, it's as if you're in Vrindavan.
It's really just the same. That big too. Prabhupada's rooms in the Radha Damodar temples, they're just like being in the temples.
Exactly.
The Radha Govinda Mandir is there, the Radha Damodar temple, the Radha Madhav Mohan temple, they're all there. And they're, maybe not quite as big as the original, but they're big and you can go right in them. And you can walk around, and there is the place where Krishna killed the Keshi demon. Loknath Maharaj described. And here you can see the Rasa Lila. Krishna's enjoying the pastimes with the gopis, and here he's killing them, and here he's dancing on Kaliya, and the sand, the soft sand, you can walk on it. And many devotees, even regular Vrindavan devotees like Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj and Bibi Govinda Maharaj, and say, this is what I really envision Vrindavan is. It's so much easier to feel like this is more like what we could experience Vrindavan. It's much better. The main difference, many of them said, is that here there's no distraction. There's so much distraction when you go to Vrindavan. That it's not one thing, it's another. Isn't it? There's so many challenges. The monkeys, somebody pestering you, the weather, whatever, so many things, the belly. There's no end of distractions there. Nobody come and do this. But there it's like focused. That's the idea, put that focus on Krishna. Krishna in the center. A place, as Prabhupada says here. Holy place, like NewGoverdhan, same principle. A holy place of transcendental pastimes, dedicated to the personality, so we can remember Krishna. The whole idea, why are there pictures here and there so we can remember Krishna? It's not just nice paintings. But when you look at the painting, a copy, a print, is a little faded, but still you can see Radha and Krishna there. Here you can see Krishna sitting there with a peacock, maybe some others too. The gopis are hidden in the background, I think somewhere. But you see Krishna, you remember Krishna when you see these pictures. When you see some, like even here you walk around, Manasiganga, like that, some bathing ghat here, Govinda Kund, whatever it is. You remember, the idea is that we remember, that's what we're here for, to remember Krishna. We're not here just to do something. It's also, that's there, but it's the program to try to remember Krishna. That's the goal of our lives. In every situation, to remember Krishna. Because not just this is to help prepare us, you could say, so that then in every situation, even when we're away, perhaps we're traveling, without the association of the temple or devotees, perhaps we're in a difficult situation, we still remember Krishna in that situation. To bring the members close together for the purpose of teaching a simpler and more natural way of life. Now notice here, it's interesting. There's a lot of mention here of bringing members together. Bringing them together somehow or another. And, just like, well, you could give many examples, but the festival of the birth of Lord Chaitanya was started by Janava Ma, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Charan, different devotees initiated this festival. It wasn't there before. They initiated it many years after Mahaprabhu's, let's say, departure. And one of the prime reasons was to bring all the devotees together to create unity. Festivals. Come together for festivals to bring unity amongst the devotees. That's the idea. Put aside all the inevitable disunity, and as Prabhupada mentioned, a simpler way of life. He puts it in other ways. Many times he emphasizes unity and diversity. Now, both exist, coexist. It's not just diversity, it's not just unity. Sometimes we have the impersonal Mayavad idea that everyone should be just like me, then that's what cooperation means. Do what I say, or be just like me or something. That's not the idea. Krishna has given us all individual quotas, forms of mind, mental, subtle and gross bodies, which have a unique individuality also. Even spiritually, you have a unique individuality. So that is to how that can be united or connected with Krishna. Come together and find out how we can connect with Krishna. So that's where the real unity lies. Not just in trying to establish my idea, or your idea, or our idea, or someone else's idea, but connecting whenever we are to Krishna. With a view towards achieving the aforementioned purposes, to publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings. So we have this reference, guidebooks. Just like if you want to go from here to the Gold Coast, you probably know the way, but if you don't, then you have to take advice from a GPS or something like that. You still have map books and all. You have to take directions. So these books are just like guidebooks to guide us through our lives towards Krishna so we can reach the goal. So try to follow the guidebook. We have to know where we are first, otherwise we might take directions from somebody who's somewhere else. We have to know where we are and what directions are relevant to where we are. And we can reach that. So Prabhupada is giving that guide there very nicely. Anything else? Yes,
Maharaj, when you said in the start of the class that we need to please Krishna, yes, we are able to please Krishna, but when we do any preaching activity or we go to book distribution, we have set a target. So how...
If I disappear, prop me up again. It's one of those chairs you kind of slide into gradually. Or the horizontal. What to do? Okay, sorry, yes.
So when you go to preaching or book distribution or something like that, we set targets to achieve some goals. So at that point of time, sometimes we are more achieve the target, and sometimes for the Krishna. So how to balance it?
How to balance it? And go overboard sometimes. We get a bit too carried away with the competitive concept or the achievement concept of competition sometimes groups. Of course, if Krishna is genuinely in the center, then they also have the competition how to bring more pleasure to Krishna, not how to bring more pleasure to me. The real thing is, even if you are in that mood, one has to constantly retreat. And you'll see Krishna helps, don't worry. Krishna really helps. And anyone who's done book distribution for, let's say, maybe regularly or for a consistent period of time, will have had that experience. You go out there and, and you think, oh, well, my tired, I did pretty well today. I must be doing the best. I don't know, being perhaps I'm a really good book distributor or something. And suddenly, you know what happens. Very quickly, if you're lucky, Krishna turns the tap off. 3 hours later, oh my God, what am I doing out here? This is terrible. I haven't done a single book in 3 hours. This is terrible, this is awful, I can't do this. I'm hopeless. Krishna, bursts the balloon So he does his job, and we're children, and the pure devotees do their job. So it's like with children, you have to give some incentives sometimes, you know. Eat your spinach. Horrible stuff. So when I was a kid, it was Popeye the Sailor Man. And if you ever heard of him, he was, he would break open a can of spinach and whatever. Take his spinach. He was like a spider. What is Spider-Man? What's the latest?
There's a cartoon series. There's a cartoon series of Popeye. Man.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still
He eats
alive.
his spinach and there he goes. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Like a spider. What's the latest one? Superman. Yeah. He was like that. You know. Okay, so Mom said, if you eat your spinach, you'll be like that. Oh, yeah. You can't keep doing that forever unless it doesn't happen. But anyway, it was one of those incentives to try to get kids to eat spinach. They didn't like to eat. Most kids don't like spinach for some reason. Horrible green stuff. Yuck. Especially now with the way of fast foods and things, the kids want to eat some pizza or something. You got to give incentives sometimes, you know. So carrot to get on. But pure devotees also, they also do that advance, that we get advance. You have to hear the philosophy. You have to regularly hear the philosophy. More or less we can get carried away from the right source. Every moves. And we can take advice. If you're very sincere about that, Priyavata Maharaj, Brahma, even great souls pray in the course of my service, may I not become overwhelmed with pride. May I not become overwhelmed with pride. And, if you read it, if you hear the Shastra regularly, you'll understand, we're not here just to see our name up in lights. We're here to, if we're going to have anyone's names up in lights, let it be everybody else's. Even if I have done more books than anyone else, it's only by their grace. It's only by their grace. So who cares? Krishna knows. But the balance is there when you're in a balanced association. You have a balanced spiritual program. It's a balanced program. Nice chanting. Lots of nice chanting. Hear the Shastra. And associate with devotees. Krishna will teach you. He'll help us to understand. And you'll realize that even if you are like that, it will help us to become more humbled and realize everything is going on by Krishna's mercy. That's all. I have no credit. Prabhupada didn't take any credit for anything. He always gave the credit to your spiritual master. And to other devotees, even Lord Chaitanya took no credit when Balavat came to him, addressing him as the Supreme Lord, the Lord Bhakta his ears, but then praised him in this way. And I said, I have no qualification. It's only by the grace of the association with Rupa Goswami, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Damodar, Haridas, this one, that, when he went through the list. Maybe some of their qualities have worn off on me, but they're nothing. I have nothing. No qualification. What's the time now? 6:10. I don't know the schedule. Is that it? Okay, that's the important point. We'll give you 5 seconds to get out of the room. And ask one last question or 2 last questions. That's one way to, generally speaking, to empty a room or get the devotees moving. Yes. What was your good name? Huh? Ed? Heath. That's nice.
Remember me in the comment?
That's right.
When a big question asks, could you please read that verse again?
Which one?
The Bhagavad Gita verse. Sorry,
Did I read one? In French. I read one in French. I don't know which one it was. I've forgotten it. I only speak a little dribble of French. We haven't got our French representatives here. Divya and Angsu. Anyone speak French? Fluently. Of course. You're from France, right? Which part of France? Paris. Very nice. Very nice. Well, I'll read another verse. You want any verse?
Yes.
Any verse, okay? This is from the 9th chapter, text 19. I am the goal. Katir, Bhata, Prabhu, Sakshi. I am the sustainer. the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and a most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and eternal seed. Another way of saying Krishna. You'll find in the 10th chapter, 9th chapter begins introduction to this subject in the sense of, let's say, just a few points. 10th chapter expanded further how to see Krishna in everything in this world. Here about him in the 11th chapter, of course, is literally seeing him, but when you don't have the eyes to see his actual presence as a cosmic and manifested form, the universal form. But at least we can visualize his presence in this world if we read the 10th chapter, Krishna birth, for instance. Arjuna asked him to describe in detail the mystic powers of the opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. The nature of these words. You don't usually get that from other sources, and not for long anyway. But with Krishna, the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. This is the solution. This is the real panacea for curing all the those of suffering. In this material world, the solution is to hear topics spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. This is the only way to relieve us in this ultimate, complete relief us in this world. And so therefore such topics should be spread all over the world. Those who distribute this subject matter of knowledge pertaining to it are the greatest welfare workers, doing the greatest service. 30Jan16. Tavakatam yatam bhaktajivam kavivitam kalmashatam shravanam srimadatam bhuvignanti gurita. A verse talking about the gopis. So what is he saying? Yes, I shall tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings. Of the Adityas I am Vishnu, you may not know these terms. Of lights I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts I am Marichi, and among stars I am the moon. Of the Vedas I am the Salivator, the demigods I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses I am mind, and in living beings I am the living force. Now, what is seen here is that the Indra is, I just give one example for instance, it could be any of these things, the sun, the moon, time, everything, only has its, let's say, capacity, effectivity, power, potency, opulences, because they're receiving it from Krishna. It's manifested according to the situation through that particular object or personality, whether it's a shark, whether it's a learned sage, whether it's Brahma, the creator. Krishna's presence to a certain degree is his opulences, they're being empowered to act in a certain way because they have every living entity, actually means everyone, is being empowered by the Lord to act in such and such a way accordingly. It may be greater or lesser, but the opulence, the capacity, the ability is the opulence of the Lord manifesting through different ways, different entities, different objects, etc. So in other words, he's the living force behind everything. Behind everything. We just have to connect that living force. Then our true nature, our spiritual nature can be understood and realized, and we can actually relish, enter into that plane, eternal reciprocation of Krishna. And it goes on like that throughout the chapter, describing how you can remember him in every single situation. Anything else?
Why is it so hard for some people to chant their Mahamantra?
Why is it hard for chanting the mantra?
For some people.
Yeah. Rupa Goswami gives an example in the one book called The Nectar of Instruction, and there he explains that the holy name is like nectar, like sweet, like nectar. It's very sweet. But for people who are suffering from jaundice, they won't experience pleasure from the sweet taste. So people who are very deeply covered by avidya, the ignorant potencies of this world, they may not be attracted to tongues of people, even amongst themselves sometimes, will not be so attracted to the sweet taste of the holy name. So they're covered by ignorance, and it takes a while before those coverings are cleared. Just like a person who has jaundice does not like the taste of sugar. However, by regular taking of sugar, gradually the jaundice is cured and the taste becomes sweet again. So it takes time. So that they may not be, I mean, we've seen that throughout this life. I'll give you a nice example, and a very special example to me, because it was a friend of mine. He was a banker in London, working at a big bank, he was a branch manager in London. And his first contact with Hare Krishna would not seem very favourable. The first time he saw them was in Portobello Road in London, and the Hare Krishna party came by chanting, and he really hated it. And on Sunday, he had a kind of a Sunday hobby of having a little fruit stall in the market there. So he would save up all the rotten fruit to offer to the devotees when they came. But to save them the problem of coming together, he would throw it at them. Literally, and swear and curse. I mean, I won't repeat some of the things he would say. But and he was a friend of mine after, later, not that time. I don't think he was. I didn't know him at that point of time. But anyway, he certainly didn't like it. He hated it. Absolutely. To him it was horrible. Get out of here. He had some Christian affinity, he calls the devil, coming from the devil. But one day his wife was there, and she was a kind of gentle lady. She saw her husband going into a rage when the Hares came by. You can't do that, I don't know who they are. But they're not doing this, they're not trying to do you any harm, you can't do that. You're supposed to be a Christian. Christians are supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself. She kind of, tried to appeal to his, sentiment and saying, all right then. She tried to hold it, bite his lip and cut his tongue away, hold himself back. And eventually she said, I think you should apologize to them. No way I'll do that. But eventually, at least she had him talk to them, and he realized they weren't as bad as he thought. And they had a nice conversation, and they were very happy. They talked to him, and they didn't feel any bad about him at all. They always were very nice. Behavior. A lot of people are convinced by behavior, not by philosophy, not even by our chanting, but by our behavior. That may be the first way that people's hearts softened. So his heart softened a little bit by the behavior of the devotees. To such an extent that when, after some time, the devotees started bringing gifts for him, for his prasad and different things. And his wife was kind of a little bit nice people. And after a while, they actually invited him to come to the temple. They came to the temple. And they really liked it. They started to come regularly. So it wasn't long after that, Prabhupada came to the temple, got initiated together by Prabhupada. His name was Bhakti-Pramod. I can't remember his wife's name. He was old, he was in his 50s, so he passed away a long time ago. And he got initiated by Srila Prabhupada, his wife also. It certainly didn't start off with much of a positive attraction. Anyway, you could say it was an attraction, negative. And other people who are really avoiding this don't even notice it, like animal consciousness. But still they get benefit. Eventually it will have its effect. Somehow or another, holy name, they come into contact. They may not even be aware of it, but they get some benefit, even the non-moving entities. It's just a matter of time before their consciousness grows a little bit and starts to surface into underground. They still get the benefit. Too much ignorance. That doesn't matter. We still chant. And when I was in Africa, in East Africa, in the early years, in the 70s, Prabhupada said to Brahmananda was GDC there, he said to Prabhupada, he said, these people, Prabhupada, they can't understand this at all. This is way beyond this philosophy. They're so simple. There's so much kind of ignorance in some ways. And Prabhupada said, they're not getting any devotees. I mean, if they join, they stay for a week, and there's nothing left in the temple. They pinch everything. They find out how to get it, and they're gone within a week, and that was going on. Clothes, everything just disappeared. They even took Prabhupada's clothes when he was there. He said, that was a waste of time. I said, no, it's not a waste of time. He said, this is a mercy mission. He said, don't expect to see any fruits in this lifetime. It's a mercy. We're simply planting the seeds. They will eventually grow. If they have no interest, don't become disheartened. Eventually, it takes more time. Dark moments. And of course, the more people are maybe negative, then the more reason we need to take shelter of Krishna and try to become pure ourselves. We may be more of let's say, an instrument through which Krishna can awaken the remembrance of him through them. And last question from Lokalandu.
Maharaj, what were the two things that the public really accept?
What was that?
What were the two things the public really accept? One of them was prashad and the other one was
Chanting. Chanting. The holy name. As Raphael said, not all people are crooked. Even if they're negative towards it, it's another form of, I was wondering, I've really heard many of these stories before, those who've been around me long enough, but, they just come to the surface now and again. But one time I looked in the, we have something called a database, which is an electronic record of all of the, books and newsletters and this and that, and many of them in this strong. I looked in it one time to see if there was a reference to the town where I was born. And there was one reference to the place where I was born. And I thought, what about this? I was born in a place called Swindon, which was previously called Pig Hill. They changed it to Swine Down and finally Swindon. It was actually called Pig Hill. So that's what it was. It was a hill with pig farm on top. And so anyway, there was one reference, and it was from a magazine newsletter, ISKCON Communications newsletter, and it was an article written by, this was an article I suppose, but an experience. So I think they were from Eastern Europe, maybe Lithuania or something, a young couple who were living in Swindon, and they were studying in a college, and they weren't initiated devotees, they weren't practicing thoroughly, but they were interested in Krishna consciousness at that time, probably in the 80s. And they were studying in the college there. And they were doing a course on advertising course. And that day the lecturer was showing various types of high street advertising. In the high street of the town, they call it high street, the main street in those days. Showing different shop fronts, different things to try to attract people's attention, the colours, sometimes sounds, sometimes movements, and then billboards, different things, and people on the street trying to sell their product and stuff. They were showing them different, discussing the merits and demerits of these various examples which he was showing with the students. And nobody knew they were Krishna devotees, and certainly the lecture had nothing to do with Hare Krishna at all. It was just a lecture presenting the course materials. All of a sudden, on the presentation on the screen, said, now watch this one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishnas came down the street with a Harinam party, playing madungas and dancing, very colourful looking, smiling faces, singing away. And he said, now watch. So the camera was on there. Then it went right and left on the street. And everybody on the street was affected. Some were laughing, some were going like this. And some were obviously, but everybody was captured by that. One way, negative or positive. Then he said, this is an example of expert advertising. They captured everyone's attention. Their movements, their colours, their smiles, the sound, the novelty of the instruments. He said everything about it is, expert advertising. They've got all the different facets of expert advertising here. And that's what he said. So although the people may not buy the product, that's not expected that necessarily going to buy it there and then. The nature of this is spiritual, so there will be, a little bit of. And that's how advertising works. Imperceptibly, it creeps up on people, and they start just thinking that. They advertise so cleverly, you don't even know they're advertising sometimes behind the screen. There's something imperceptibly there which gradually fixes itself in your subconsciousness, and you start thinking in that way. So, like that, the poison is injected. You don't know it. Time bomb. Anyway, that's their chanting. And the behavior of a devotee, which is, Lord Chaitanya said, religious principles are established by the behavior of the devotee. And what are the religious principles there? Sankirtan. So to see that is accepted, then the behavior of the devotee must be there too. Etiquette of relationship with people is also very important, how we behave amongst ourselves, amongst the public. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. We'll see you tomorrow. I wish you all the very best. And sleep tight. Have a nice night. And we'll see you before light in the temple room. Oh, Prashad. Oh, we have Prashad here. Don't run away. We have Prashad here. Believe it or not, Shamananda Prabhu and his family prepared Prashad for everybody. This is it. This is it. So this is all you're going to get tonight. There's nothing else, so make the most of it. Prashad and a sticker, okay? Come and get your sticker. I was going to get mine away, but I didn't beat to the